Now we're going to keep it on Ukraine and bring in foreign policy expert Michael Szanto and former Trump National Security Council Chief of Staff Fred Fleitz. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good to be here.
So we know President Trump was being asked about Russia's attack on an American electronics plant in western Ukraine. Take a listen, and then I'm going to get your thoughts on this, gentlemen.
Have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I said I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And I better be very happy.
Better be very happy. So now the Pentagon is reportedly blocking the Ukraine's long-range missile strikes on Russia. This while the White House is pursuing peace talks with Moscow. Michael, President Trump posted on Truth Social last week that it is very hard, if not impossible, to win a war without attacking an invader's country. Is the president coming around on this, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think clearly that post shows that he is coming around. It's a balancing act, but he's absolutely correct. Ukraine has to, at times, be able to strike on Russian territory in order to defend. You need a little bit of a component of offense. And if you geographically limit the Ukrainians, they will be limited in their ability to defend themselves.
Fred, good morning. Good to see you again. Let's talk about Putin's demands for Ukraine, because they include ceding the entire eastern Donbass region, abandoning their ambitions to join NATO formally, and keeping Western troops out of the country. There are no surprises there. This is all stuff we knew he wanted. But now Russia wants a seat at the table when it comes to deciding the security guarantees for Ukraine. Will NATO give Putin what he wants here?
I don't think so. I don't think NATO membership is on the table right now. Hungary's going to veto that. It has to be a unanimous vote. But there's a deadlock between the idea of some type of security guarantee force that would be composed of European ground troops and a territory swap. I mean, the idea that Ukraine would be demilitarized, could not receive military aid, that's off the table. Russia's not going to participate in a security force to prevent Russia from invading. That makes no sense. I don't think that's a serious proposal. Some of these things I think can be negotiated. I think that there could be a deployment of peacekeeping forces, of neutral troops. But this is assuming that Putin really wants peace. I think Trump is coming to the conclusion that he doesn't. And I think in about 2 weeks, we're going to see the imposition of very tough energy and then economic sanctions against Russia.
Yeah, the president said we've got about 2 weeks on that. But during that Oval Office briefing, the president was also asked about Putin attending the World Cup next year when the U.S. is the host. Take a listen in here, Mike, and see what you think.
And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
So, Mike, sounds like the president may be getting a new photographer, but can you imagine a scenario where Putin is actually attending the World Cup here in the United States?
Anything is possible, but I have to emphasize, you cannot trust Putin. At heart, he is a lifetime hardcore Soviet KGB. Soviet Union collapsed, KGB's changed its name, but this is who Putin is. And from the very beginning, this war in Ukraine was an attack and war against Europe, the West, and the United States. He sees the United States as an enemy, and the horrific October 7th atrocities by Hamas is a warning that when your adversary or enemy says things, and when you hear on Russian television, use nuclear weapons against Europe, America, Ukraine, believe them. They say we are basically their enemy. And we're not. We want friendship. So President Trump is on the right track to look for a positive relationship with Russia and even Putin. But it's Putin who needs to come around, not President Trump. And we cannot trust him. And we need to watch very carefully what they're saying on Russian television and politicians, figures very close to Putin, a country that has basically effectively 1,500 thermonuclear weapons aimed at the United States and Europe is not only not a friend, but incredibly, incredibly dangerous. And we need to stop them in Ukraine, because if we don't stop them in Ukraine, they'll keep on going, and it won't do us any favors in containing China either, because these two countries are basically effectively allies, China and Russia.
Yeah, and Ukraine is the first line of defense for the rest of the world here. But Fred, next up, Russia launching one of its biggest aerial attacks this year in Ukraine this week. While all these talks are continuing by the US and other Western countries to finally reach a peace deal, and there he is launching all these massive strikes again. What is he doing here? Is he just seizing, everything it can and trying to stall ahead of winter? Because you and I know when it gets to winter in that, the war just stops over there, effectively.
I'm afraid it conveys that Putin isn't interested in peace at all. We've seen him dragging his feet on meeting with Zelensky, which Trump has called for. I'm just concerned that Putin took this meeting with Trump and he's simply not following up on his agreements. And I think that Rubio's going to have to be on the phone, probably go to Moscow to say, we're not going to tolerate this. You deal now, or we're going to just break your economy. But I'm very, very concerned at Putin's behavior after the summit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people all eyes are on that region of the world. So thank you so much, Mike Szanto and Fred Fleitz, for your insights this morning, gentlemen.
You're very welcome.
Good to be here.
Thank you both.